Hello, good people. It's time for an episode of Creatively Shaded, your destination for all things Bay Area theater and beyond, honey, where the dish is served and the tea is hot. So let's join our hosts, Bay Area Black artists,
Elizabeth Jones,
ShawnJ West,
Phaedra Tillery Boughton.
Come peek behind the curtain.
Hello, what up? Everybody, we are back to another episode of Creatively Shaded.
Listen, we're knocking them down. What is this, episode
3?
Woo, come on, welcome
You see
back.
how we do? We
It's a
see what
work.
we're giving
3
you.
is a charm.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm.
Yes.
They come in threes.
Me too.
So
Love it.
So here we are. So let's just dive into it, because it's a beautiful day outside and we want to get outside.
Yes,
I like
so
being outside.
let's go right into it.
Yes.
Yesterday, we were out in these theater streets,
Yes,
Yes,
baby.
we were, baby.
And we all got to witness Jaja's African hair braiding at Berkeley Rep.
Yes.
Yep.
And we were all there at the same time.
Yeah.
Together.
We were.
Together.
We didn't all sit
went.
together, but we were in the same building.
Yes. Girl.
Well, we're gonna talk about it.
It was a
So
What is the show about? Let's
So,
give the premise.
give us a synopsis of the show. Takes place in Harlem.
Harlem and
During the summer,
In 2019.
19.
Mhm.
Right before the election was going to take place. And it is a group of African women from various parts of Africa
Yep.
who are in this braiding shop owned by
Yes.
Jaja.
Uh-huh.
And it is the day, it's a day of events
Yep.
in the shop.
A day in the shop, yeah.
A day in the shop with customers coming in and out.
Mhm.
And the 4 stylists
Yep.
Mhm.
who are in
Mhm.
the spot and how
Plus
they
Jaja's
and plus
daughter.
Jaja's daughter.
Yeah.
I kind of counted her, but she's not really a stylist. I guess
Yeah.
she's sort of
She's
No,
kind
because
of
there was
like-
4 and her.
Yeah.
1, 2,
There's 4 stations and then
3,
her.
4. Yes, you're
Yeah.
correct.
Mhm.
And so, yes, and so their relationship, what happens throughout the day, what comes up, and then what happens at the end of the show
Mhm.
as it relates to DACA and all that other stuff.
And do we know how long is that show running?
It runs until December 15th.
Okay, so by
You
the
got
time
time.
this airs, you still have a weekend to
Mhm.
see it.
You do. And we've been promoting on the other episodes as well.
Right.
So
My experience of Jaja, you know me, I always love a stage full of Black women. That
Black
was
women.
really
Mhm.
exciting. And I think all of them did pretty much a good job, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I had trouble with the book.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care for the book.
Mm-hmm.
It, to me, was also similar to
Nollywood.
Nollywood. It just, to me, just doesn't. I feel like if we're telling African stories in the Bay Area, it should also have an educational portion. Like, what are we learning about these people that we don't know, that we
Right.
don't see, that we don't run into all the time? What can this audience, especially when the Bay Area has a huge white audience base, what are we teaching them? I think that's what the theater is about. And I don't feel like I learned anything new from either one of these stories. And Jaja's, to me, fell flat. Like the stakes weren't high enough for me. So I kind of was like disappointed at the book. Again, the actors did a good job. But I just kind of left with being like, okay. I wasn't satisfied.
Ooh, no satisfaction.
You weren't fulfilled after you left. I think
No.
I could say the same thing. I would say when I go to a theater, when I go to a performance, I want to leave with something either resonating within my body
Mm-hmm.
that I'm either thinking about in my mind or some feeling of either elation, joy, sadness, some level of takeaway. And I think for
Mhm.
me, as I sat there and was being a participant, because, we always participate, I did feel a certain distance
Yeah.
from what was going on, which I was surprised. And I will own this. I think because of all of the hype around the show,
Yeah.
it kind of informed my expectations.
Well, cheers to their promotion.
Right.
The marketing team.
You know,
Good job.
Marketing team did a good job.
Right.
You got me in there. You got me
Yeah.
excited. And see, before I went to go see it, my cousin had saw it before me. She's not a theater goer, as I would say for me. She goes to see me. She goes every blue moon on her own. And she was like, I said, cousin, don't tell me nothing. She said, well, I didn't like the way it ended, cousin. And I was like, okay. And we haven't had any conversations further than that. But now I agree with her. I didn't like the way it ended. I did feel like it left me with nothing. Like I didn't learn anything. I wasn't connected to any one of the characters very deeply or wanted to see what happened with them going forward. I just felt like, all right,
Well, let me give you my thoughts.
come on and give them.
So I am one of those theater attendees who do not like to read up on the show that I'm seeing. I want to be immersed in it, and I don't want to really know I won't even look at pictures. So I saw like on social, I said, I can't look at that. So I was so excited to be in the audience, and I like the braids.
Yeah,
And I got my hair braided too, but it wasn't because of that. But I was in there, I was swinging it extra for that. I said, this is a long 90 minutes.
yeah.
So the pacing was an issue, right? There were some Black women in the audience who were sitting next to me who were like, had created their own Amen Corner. If you don't know what that is, Google it. An Amen Corner. They were like, oh, and I was like, yes. So there were some really funny moments in the show. My daughter was with me. She was laughing at some stuff. So I did enjoy some parts, but I was wondering, when it ended, I was like, that's it? I knew it was 90 minutes, and I knew there wasn't an intermission, but I wanted more. I wanted so much more. And I was like, where's the thread? I will agree. The stakes were not high enough. The pacing was here. They could have cut some of the dialogue, and I felt like they should have started at the end of the show is where, in my opinion, is where they could have started and kind of told the story with that.
Yeah.
With all of the things, with customers coming in during this highly intense new situation. That was just my personal opinion. But I will say that they did something that was really wonderful. They inserted a sheet about the Crown Act. If you don't know what that is, Google it, sign up for it, because it's real. Discrimination against women who are wearing their natural hair that grows from their head.
Stepping on it right now.
Oh, I am, but
Not a.
this is what they put in there, right? And so there were some really cool moments with the wigs and how they were literally like braiding hair on stage.
That was dope.
And that was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did I really love it?
Them singles at the end was good though.
They were
singles
good.
was nice.
They
I
were
was like,
good.
ooh.
And I think for me, that's what I liked. I do enjoy sometimes giving a glimpse of our culture and other cultures to white folks so that they can see and be informed to some elements of how we are when they aren't around. Like, we don't think about them. We don't really talk about them. So it was nice to have some element in which you experience these African women in their environment, talking honestly about their experiences and how it relates to the impact of white folks on their lives and each other's lives, and how I think I just wanted, and I'm a pace junkie, I wanted it to move. Like, I wanted it to open with and go and take me on a ride, because if I am paused for any moment, I'm thinking ahead and I get ahead of the script. And so now I'm like, so I needed it to really move and just simply not let up.
Yep.
If it didn't let up, I think it would have been a really fun ride.
Right.
And then that surprise, no spoilers, would have been really nice. It was like, oh shit. But then that got kind of deflated at the end as well. So it was just, as we always say, go see
it for yourself.
Form your own opinion, please. Because I think you have to experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because everyone gets different things out of
exactly.
shows based upon where they are and who they are.
Yeah, because like I said, I enjoyed seeing so many Black women on stage, and they only had one man.
They did.
And that one man played all those roles. He changed his wig several times. He came in as, so that showed his talent.
Yes.
Which I was impressed by.
There were also two other actors who were doing the same thing, who had versatile roles as well, different roles.
Our challenge with seeing Jaja's hair braiding, African hair braiding, is that it takes place at Berkeley Rap, which is in Berkeley, which is in the Bay Area. and the actors in the show were
I
not,
didn't see nothing that looked like some Bay Area actors could not have performed.
yeah, they were not local actors. and-
They're not local actors, and that's my biggest. I love Berkeley rep. Like when we saw Mexodus, I understood why they went out of
but they created
the Bay
that.
for that. They created that. That was amazing. But I don't feel like what I saw in Jaja's was something that Bay Area talent couldn't do. And that's what frustrates me a little bit, because some of those roles were ensemble roles, and I feel like at the very least, those ensemble roles could have went to Bay Area actors
Yes.
and
Yep.
starting to open the door for Bay Area actors to have exposure to these audiences, to
Absolutely.
that stage,
Yeah.
because we live right here.
Literally.
And most of our
I went to high school down the
are
street.
crossing the bridge or going far away from their homes to get work that we wish we could be a part of right here in Berkeley.
Yeah. So
Just saying.
you still have up until December 15th to see it if you're interested.
Go see it.
No,
Again,
go see
support
it.
those Black women.
Because those women need us in the audience.
I enjoyed
Yes.
what I saw. I just wasn't impressed with.
And we want to hear your feedback too.
Yeah,
Like
talk
send
about
us,
it.
DM
You got
us.
some opinions? Let's talk about. We'll have those dialogues if you please put them in our comments, our messages, and we'll talk about it again if we want to.
Record a live or a video and
that's
tag
good.
us and we
Say-
can go, I saw this and A, B, C, and D, because I think that's what we need more of within the Bay Area Black community theater. We need us to review our own show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And so that when we are in the audience and we go into the lobby and after the show, we go, hey, y'all, I just saw so-and-so. And you can give your critique, right? And then that starts a dialogue, which is what we want more of. So I think
Absolutely.
we ain't the only ones who need to be doing the talking. We want more.
It's community, right? It's
Yes.
community. All right, moving on.
We also saw. Well, I saw.
You saw.
You don't.
I saw
it.
Waitress.
We haven't seen it yet.
We
No
haven't.
spoilers.
Don't spoil
I
it for
won't
us.
spoil it. I enjoyed myself at Waitress.
Well, good.
And that had a lot of Bay Area actors in the show, which I am very, very proud of. I teared up.
Who's doing that?
I'm sorry, SF Playhouse is doing that. And I teared up. Ruby Day, who plays the lead, is phenomenal. I don't know how else to say it. Singers, if you love a singer, go see Ruby Day. If you love technical voice, if you love soulful voice, I will say this: my mom, who's an old Black church lady, and y'all know when I go see shows, I'm loud. But my mom was loud with me, like screaming at Ruby for like singing her face off. So at one point, I heard my mom on the phone, and she was like, "Girl, I went to see this play with my daughter, and I swear, if I close my eyes, that white girl sound like a Black woman." And that's the way my mom gives kudos, right? Like, she really did do some beautiful work. Tanika's also in it. She sang the song, "Go Ahead, Throw Your Rocks at Me." I love that song. In the show, so it's a good show. I had a good time. I had a fun time. I actually really enjoyed myself seeing.
Good.
And again, highlighting the Bay Area actors.
And Jordan
Covington is in it. Yes. Super cute, super funny. It's just a good ride. It's a good ride.
So you left feeling something.
I did. I
Yeah.
definitely did. But I really love the show Waitress. I
Right.
really love that show. And so I have my heart sings. Jackie put me on. Dr. Jackie, who was here with us on our last season, she put me on. So she used to be listening to it in the car. And I'd be like, girl, what is that you listening to? And then Anthony Jackson and I went to go see it. And we both were like, oh, crap, this is a great show. And so I'm really excited. I auditioned. I didn't get it, but I was happy to see the show. I ain't gonna lie. I was really happy. I thought I was gonna be, you have them feelings when you go see a show that you don't get. And I wasn't. I was excited and I was happy for them. And that cast was awesome.
That's great.
And I think that's the feeling you want to get when you go see a show. If you wanted to be in it, if you didn't get in it and you see it, you want to be able to go, all right, they did that.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's really good. That meant that they were committed to telling the story.
Yeah.
And that is really,
I didn't watch it with bitter eyes. I watched it with I learned.
Yes.
I learned from being in the audience. I want to say watching this show, and I want to make sure I work on my vocal techniques, because like I said, what she was able to do with her voice was powerful.
Nice.
Ooh, I'm
Nice.
excited for ShawnJ and I to see it. Woo! All right, moving on. Because you got a big ego.
Oh, who got a big ego?
Somebody got a big ego.
So this was sent in by one of our dedicated viewers, and they had been in a show with a young actor, and the young actor was basically showing their ass. And how do and these were two like black actors, right? And so
one older, one younger.
I would say yes.
Okay.
And so what I feel, and I think we spoke about this at the last episode about mentorship and being responsible and how you show up in the room. I think it's important that, and the actor, the viewer said, well, what should I have done, right? And at one point they did pull them up in another show, but in this show, it was a show with a lot of white folks.
Okay.
And how we show up in that space. And not that we have to be on our P's and Q's, best behavior when we're around white folks, but I think it's sort of that expectation. We don't want you judging us all based on the action of one or two, right?
So
you do.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so I think that was one of the concerns that this viewer was having.
Yeah.
It's like, going, so should I have said something? And I know for me, based upon the description of the behavior that this person had done, I would have pulled them up, right? And that's just me being...
Can you give us one example of one of the behaviors?
No, because if I do that, it tells who the person is because it's really specific.
Okay.
And we want to, keep some anonymity to folks.
Yes, you're
and
right.
hopefully, if they were to hear this, just be on your best behavior. You ain't got to be an ass.
I needed them more because this is the thing. I'm not responsible for anybody else in the room. I'm responsible for myself. And if I've developed a relationship with you and I see that you're doing something that I feel like is not appropriate, then yeah, I'm gonna pull you to the side. But if you're somebody that I've never worked with or I've worked with before and I seen that that's your behavior, I'm gonna let you do what you gotta do because you're gonna show people who you are and I'm gonna show them who I am. And they're gonna know that there's two different kind of black folks in this industry. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm always responsible for...
and you aren't. I don't believe you are. I believe if you have a relationship with the person, which these people did, like there was a relationship, and they just felt a level of, oh man, why are you doing that? And so they felt bad because they were like going, you ain't got to be that way, and didn't course correct them, and so that person now has a reputation to a degree.
Let them have their reputation.
And I think for me, like, I would have said something. They weren't comfortable saying something at that point, and they had done it before, and the person didn't respond very well. So
exactly,
that's the thing, though. So
you let them.
That's the thing, right? So the person who reached out to you had already, in a previous situation, said something to them before, and they had an adverse response. So I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my words on you. If you can't hear what I gotta say one time, I'm not going to continue to say it over and over again. I'm just gonna watch you light your own self on fire.
And I'm also gonna move in rooms and say, hey, when the casting goes out, I'm gonna be like, ooh, are you sure you want to work with this person? Because I don't.
And I know I do to some degree. I will pull that person to the side because especially if they're younger. If they're younger, because sometimes there's insecurity at play. There's some stuff that not quite grounded in who they are yet, and so I will analyze that. Right?
I hear
and
that. I hear that.
And some of these young folks don't want to hear what you got to say.
Right, but I'm gonna try. Right, I'm gonna at least try because that's how I walk through the world. So I'm gonna go, hey girl. So, and I'm gonna pull you to the side. I'm not gonna call you out in front of everyone, but I'm gonna pull you to the side and go, are you aware that you are coming across as an ass?
Ooh, a whole one.
Right. And if you go, and if you can give me an attitude all you want to, but I'm going, so I'm just telling you this now because the way you are showing up now is going to give you a reputation for other opportunities that may be taken away from you.
Yeah.
So that's really what I'm saying is that I believe we
that.
have some level of, that's just me.
And I hear that. I hear both sides, and I'm somewhere in the middle of that because I feel like it's on, a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
Because I just be like, I got to sit up here and learn my lines. I'm going through perimenopause. I can't think. I can't be worried about you.
Oh, and sometimes I've been in a show and I have observed behavior, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But in my head, I clock and go, oh, I'm not working with you again.
And
That's
I'm not
right.
about to sit
That's
by
right.
you on break. I'm not about to talk to you. I'm gonna sit way over there.
distance
And I'm
myself.
gonna leave you alone because
Just-
if that's the way you move, I don't move that way, and I don't want to be associated with moving that way.
Exactly.
So sometimes I don't need to protect you. I'm gonna let you do what you got to do, so I can keep moving where I gotta go.
Exactly.
Be like, go with God.
and go.
Go with God.
Peace be with you.
Peace be unto you. Peace be unto you. All right. This is for the lovers.
Ooh.
Have you ever had a show boo?
No. No.
Well, I had a show boo after the show.
Okay, boo.
Uh-huh.
What had happened was
What had happened was the person was like, you never can sometimes like when I'm working as an actor, I pride myself on a level of professionalism. So I'm not interested in being like, oh, he cute or meow, 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 meow. I'm not doing that. I'm working. But this particular person reached out to me like afterwards. And then something happened, but it didn't happen during the show. So I'm not opposed to a show boo, but maybe for me, not a show boo while we're
During
doing
the
the show.
show.
Well, then that's not a show boo.
Well, that's where you meet the boo.
But see, here's the deal. And
ShawnJ had a show boo.
no.
Oh, you got you giggling. What happened?
Them dimples coming out. Them dimples coming out.
This heifer. No, so I think I have witnessed show boos, and I have been. It was back in the day when I did a chorus line.
Oh, just a time ago.
There were crushes, right? There were like some crushes that you had on the person who was in the show because you're in the dressing room, you're at rehearsal, and you're together a lot, right?
You
and so
are.
you start forming this comfort with each other that sometimes can spill over into attraction
Never.
and romance.
Never.
That's you. And so it was, that was like, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice, but it didn't go anywhere, but there was definitely some flirting going on. And then like at one of the cast party, there was some kissing going on.
Ooh.
And so what I'm always interested in, you ain't got no damn sense. And I have witnessed it. Like I was directing a show a while ago, and the two actors had, the characters were going to be romantically inclined together.
Okay.
And I told one of the actors that I need you all to not do anything if you start to do anything until after the show.
Okay.
Because I wanted to keep the energy of the innocence of the characters
Right.
true. Because if I kiss you outside of the show, I know what it feels like. Whereas if I don't know what it feels like, as the character, it's also still a mystery as well.
Yeah.
Because I'd walked out.
But if you're a good actor, you can keep doing
True that. But I'd walked out of rehearsal one night and I saw them making out and went, oh, well, there's so much for that idea.
Too late for that.
Too late for that. But I'm always curious as to how does that happen? And is it, because it happened in our last show, there are a couple of show boos. And I was like, oh. I just think it's interesting and it makes sense. It's like in my job,
No, yeah.
I'm with people 8 hours a day,
That's true.
5 days a week.
Mhm.
And sometimes we're sharing intimate details about our life.
Of course.
And sometimes you do get kind of
Caught up.
engaged, not you. And so I can understand that. And I'm just curious, in the comments as people are watching this, have you ever had a show boo? How did it turn out? And is it something that you recommend or don't recommend? I do
And
know
why?
this for myself, that when I am in a show, especially if I'm directing a show,
Okay.
I have to be honest with myself. When there's a good-looking guy in the space,
Mercy.
I have to acknowledge it in my head,
Uh-huh.
and then I move on. And then I
Right.
usually call Ridgeway, and I go, hey, girl, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you gotta get it out. You gotta
And
get
I
it
get it
out.
out, and then
Yeah.
I'm fine, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't acknowledge it, it's sort of like I'm trying to be
Playing
something I'm
somebody
not.
the whole
Right.
time.
Right.
No,
and
I
I
get
know
that.
it's
It's gonna be
like,
awkward.
oh, you are fine as fuck.
Mm.
Da, 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 da.
Mm.
Boom. And I acknowledge that, and I move on, right? But I'm
Okay.
not going to pursue anything because that's inappropriate. And it's just one of those, but I have to acknowledge it because I'm
Fair.
human and I'm single.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Ready to mingle.
red.
No, I mean I could understand how it can happen.
Yes.
I always say never, because the I'm married, but the type of person prior to being married, the type of person that I date, I don't normally see in the theater scene. So that's why I was like, nope, never, and I'm being funny. But for real, I can see how it happens working together in intimate situations. Yeah, I can see. And then it's kind of cool to date somebody who likes what you like and who knows theater. Because when you're in theater and you date people who don't know theater, they don't understand.
Right.
And so, falling for somebody who understands tech and who understands grasping a character, I can see how it can happen. But it's not over here.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to hear from you. Let us know if you had a
about
boo.
you and your show boo. Send us a picture of you and your show boo. How y'all meet?
Ooh, pictures.
Oh, that's a good question.
Coming up. How y'all meet? What show was it?
Yes.
Oh,
that's kinda
I
cute.
love that. We're going to follow up on that.
Some
I love
show
that idea.
boos.
I didn't
Yeah.
get a show boo, but me and my boo got married in a theater. I don't know if that counts. I'll send
I
y'all
love that.
pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that's really been happening, and I want to make sure that we're doing, besides just chopping it up and sharing the shade, there's a lot of opportunities because we just had a really strong conversation about Berkeley Rep's show Jaja's African Hair Braiding, but there's a lot of opportunities for us to tell our own stories.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity to pay us to tell our own stories.
Mhm.
So, for instance, Berkeley Rep has this called the Ground Floor at Berkeley Rep. And the Ground Floor is a summer residency lab that invites artists to apply with projects that would benefit from a residency at Berkeley Repertory Theater for 1 to 2 weeks. Applicants must be available for residency between June 16th and July 20th, 2025, and the applications are open until December 22nd.
Nice.
So if you have a story that you're working on, a choreography that you're working on, and you feel like you need time and space, Berkeley Rep is offering this space and time for you. You can apply at berkeleyrep.com. All the information and details are there. So make sure you go out because I believe our stories need to be told. And if we can't just keep fussing about not liking the stories that
That's
we're going
true.
to see without being a part of changing that.
Absolutely.
And so I myself have go ahead, say what you guys say.
Well, I don't want to go on a tangent. I think the challenge with that, even though we do write our own stories, tell our own stories, we need the space and the theater to be able to do that. And we don't own a lot of spaces to do that. So the challenge is, how do we create partnerships or alliances that enable us to put on those pieces when we
That's
do
true.
write them? I think that's part of the challenge as well. It's like Berkeley Rep's got money.
Yeah.
And so they can kind of do what they want to do.
That's true.
And I think, how do we broker with places like Lorraine Hansberry Theater, the Magic Theater,
Aurora.
I almost said Ubuntu, but they're not Ubuntu anymore.
Oakland Theater Project.
Like, how do we partner with them and help bring our stories there so they get told and supported? Because we don't always have the space.
Right.
Right. So applying for a project like this.
Yeah.
Also, TBA has grants where it gives you money to rehearse, to pay actors.
Right.
There's also Zacco Dance. I'm saying these because I just recently won these 2 awards. But that's how you're partnering. I talked to Margot at Lorraine Hansberry. I connected her with, but she already knew, Joanna Highgood at Zacco Dance. So I said, hey, how can we work together? We all got on a Zoom call. We're all going to work together to help produce my play, which is upcoming. But it's really about going in and applying for these grants.
Right.
These grants require give you opportunities to network, to have more conversations. My play started off as me writing at home and someone telling me about another application and being like, hey, apply to SF Batco's writing program.
Yeah.
That told me somebody saw my play and asked me to write for Three Girls Theater.
Yeah.
That's moved on. So you have to keep going. It's not, nobody's just going to drop it in your lap. It is a constant grind. It is a constant hustle.
And
so with saying that, another grant opportunity, I just recently won the TBA Cash Grant. That's a grant that I applied for on TBA, Theater Bay Area. It gives a $2,500 grant that supports the development of artistic projects or the capacity building projects, not directly tied to a fully produced performance of a piece. So this can just help you pay for a reading.
Yeah.
Paying your act, that's $2,500. That's Zoom calls, paying them to be on Zoom calls. That's just getting, and then also renting a space. We can rent this space for little to nothing and have a reading. Start to really start getting feedback on your pieces. That money is gonna go towards that. So applying for these grants. Lastly, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going, guys.
Keep going.
There's the Black Futures Grant with Zacho. I recently won over $9,000 to work on my project. That Zacho Dance Theater there's a Black Futures artist in a residency fellowship, opens to diverse voices, emerging and established, called to express the Black experience through its arts practice that inspires dialogue and builds community. Our goal is to support artists at all points of their process to give them an opportunity to conduct in-depth research without the pressure of presenting a completed work by the end of the fellowship. So this, again, is not saying I need to have a big presentation. This is giving money for me to work on it. Some of that money, Margot Hall told me, pay yourself. You've been writing. As a writer, nobody's paying me to write my work.
True that.
Yeah.
Some of that money is paying me for a
sure.
writer. Some of that's paying for a mentor so that a mentor can help me. Some of that is also paying for a stage reading. So all of this money is going towards me presenting this show. There is money out there for you to do this. If you're a writer, please inbox us. I will give you more and more information about how to find money to fund your Black projects.
Yes.
And lastly but not least, I wanted to tell ShawnJ about this one. I haven't told you. Somebody sent it to my inbox. It's the Lloyd Richards New Futures Residency. The Lloyd Richards New Futures Residency is a year-long residency for mid-career directors and choreographers who are interested in institutional leadership. It's named after Lloyd Richards, a legendary leader of the American theater who directed some of the most important plays on Black life in the 20th century.
Ooh.
So this is for directors. If you are a director and you're wanting help, this is also for you. The goal of this residency are to help develop artists to become artistic leaders in the American theater and support artists who are illuminating Black cultural experiences on stage. This residency provides a unique exposure to the responsibilities of being an artistic director and the internal structure of workings of theatrical institution by forging or deepening a relationship between the recipient artistic leader. There's way more information. I'll put that in our website, but there's money and there's opportunities for us to tell our stories.
Yep.
We just have to go out there and do the work. Is it work? Yes. This one, unfortunately, is due tomorrow, so this one most people can't apply for. But I'm gonna work till midnight tonight to get it done, just to apply, because just having your name in the conversation, if you don't get it, they may tell you about more other opportunities.
Yeah.
So don't give up on your dreams. If theater is where you love, there's place for you to do it. Okay, I'm out.
All right. So TBA auditions are February 8th and 9th. Sign-ups are free, but you must be registered as a TBA member. So we'll also drop the link. I participated last year, and it was fun.
And are you a member? Or you because they have I think categories.
They do have different tiers.
Okay.
I mean, yes, I'm a member. I said that, yes, I'm a member, because at one time I was low on funds. And so I had to so whenever you're low on funds, don't think that will cause you to not be able to participate in something. Because I just emailed and they were like, yeah, we'll work with you. And they worked with me and I was able to participate. So don't let that stop you.
We're all artists, and we all know we out here struggling.
Because
it's
all like this. I'm telling you, it literally is.
Yeah. I think I'm learning that. I don't like the down part of it. We getting through it. So yeah, make sure you sign up for the TBA auditions. There's gonna be a lot of different theaters there. And the more that we show up, the more they realize there's more reasons to tell Black stories. Because we're out there auditioning and we are here. So make sure you sign up for those auditions that are coming up. I will have some more auditions information for you next week. About a collaboration audition for Black and brown bodies. But I'll have more information for you on our next episode about that.
All right. Y'all ready for this?
Ooh, my favorite part.
What is it?
Pull it in.
Is it
Center
Stage Shade?
Ooh.
Which one is this?
It got messy.
This is some shade, honey, and it's called The Stage is 95% White
Again.
Like we were surprised.
Child.
Okay, so let me just kind of give y'all the recap on this, okay?
Run it back.
Broadway at Musical Circus in Sacramento has been called out for their seemingly all-white ensemble production of Elf the Musical, which takes place in NYC. Okay, so New York City.
What's NYC? New York
City. New York City is a diverse place, and they cast predominantly white presenting people.
Well, there are Black folks in the cast as leads, but the biggest argument was the ensemble was all white. That was what the biggest argument was, is that they have like one or two Black leads, but the rest, the ensemble, which is mainly in the entire cast in the show, because it's a cast-heavy show,
and so
they're all white.
I'm sorry.
No,
And then what ended up happening was somebody called them out on Instagram. Particularly, it's a Black actress who, on her TikTok, her name is Victoria Prince. And she called them out. And so they had a response.
They had a...
Did they have a response? And when I just tell you, basically they were trying to scapegoat and put the blame on who?
Us,
the industry. I was trying to pull up the image, but it did not work. So
basically what was said is that the reason why there was the talent of Black folks that came out to audition didn't meet their caliber of work that they of
skill, talent, and ability.
Yes, they didn't meet their caliber of skill, and then they went on to say that they blame the industry for not.
It's a conversation we need to have, because the Black and brown folk, people of color, are not meeting these standards, which is interesting, because that same theater company did a production of The Wiz, which is an all Black production, but they managed to cast that show.
Didn't they also do The Color Purple?
And
They've done quite a few Black shows.
Yes, so it was being called out, I think, that they did not appreciate. And the person just did not handle it well, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's an opportunity right there for you to go, we could have done better, because we have the same challenge in the Bay Area when there is a show that someone's putting on and it takes place in a very, very diverse community, and we go and we see, okay, how is that possible that you could not? That means you have work to do. And also that theater company needs to look at who auditioned and why did they, and those who didn't audition, why?
I
right?
found it.
Is it a safe space for us? And we know that. We don't go to places that aren't safe.
So the quotes.
Please read it.
I fell short of the goal. I'm sorry. Let me go back. A number of you have expressed concerns over the lack of representation in our upcoming production of Elf, the musical. I hear you. Understand your frustration and agree. While our casting decisions involve many people, the final choice is mine, and I alone must account for them. This is their
executive director.
Yeah. Scott Clier, president and CEO of Broadway Music Circus. So he's taking accountability. And he's saying he's taking all the blame for what he has to say going forward. Inclusivity has been and remains my casting and staffing goal for every production. I fell short of that goal for Elf. There is an uncomfortable truth here. Our industry as a whole has largely failed to attract, train, and foster artists necessary to meet today's demand, and I fear the conversation will continue until it does. It will, unfortunately, take time. The painful reality of Elf's casting process that has both the casting submissions and audition attending revealed a few candidates of color. While those few were undoubtedly talented, they did not meet the dance and music and acting criteria set by our team.
Let's have a moment of silence, please. I think I call bullshit.
Major bullshit.
And I say that as someone who's been on the other side of the table of casting, is that if my goal is to have a diverse cast, that's my goal. And that's my objective. And I center my outreach around that. Like I spread it far and wide. And I know for a fact, because I started in Sacramento. Yes, that is where my career started, was in Sacramento.
That's where I earned my equity.
See? And I know there are several actors in the Bay Area who have gone up to Sacramento to work.
Sure.
So to say that we do not have the skill, the training to do those things is not true. Because you could have gone to New York. You could pull people from New York and at least still been diverse. We may not have liked it, but at least it would have been diverse, right? But don't say we have a hard truth to address because we're here. We are here. You did not do the work. You did not want to do the work.
Shame on you.
And don't put it on us because we are out here, clearly out here. Because I've seen so many of my Black actors who are, I'm going to shut up on that.
Okay, I'm going to even take it further.
Uh-oh.
When they were casting here in the Bay Area for Soul Train,
Okay.
The hippest trip.
many of us went to these auditions. And that dance audition was hard. Okay? Hard. But they never quit. They never quit acting, asking for new people coming.
Yep.
They never quit having auditions. They found their cast.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that sometimes when we hold 1 or 2 auditions, we may not get the cast that we desire. And if that's the case and you're really interested in being diverse, then you hold another audition.
Yes.
As many as needed.
As many as needed
Yes.
until you get the cast that definitely shows the skill that you want and the inclusivity.
The commitment
and the
you claim you
diversity,
made.
the commitment that you made.
Mm.
So again, yes, we call bullshit on you. And you didn't reach out to any one of us here in the Bay Area.
No, you did not.
So I didn't even know about the auditions for ELF. How
Who
about that?
did?
And I get it in Sacramento. We talk about the Bay Area, and I get it. But what I'm saying is I'm calling bullshit on talent because I have worked in Sacramento too, and there's quite a few talented actors in Sacramento that I've worked with myself that could have been called in if they did not show up to your audition.
Yeah.
That would have been honored to audition for you and to show you how much Black skill
Don't even question
really
it.
exists here in
Ooh,
the Bay.
Lord
Yes.
Jesus,
In
almost.
the California, okay, that.
In the California.
Okay.
So shame on you.
Shame on you. And shame on you for deleting the comments. Every time
Oh.
somebody called them out, deleting the comments all on Instagram.
Even Tony Award nominated
Amber.
Amber
Iman.
Iman made a comment and they deleted her comment.
Lord Jesus
you
is
have
the
a
fire.
Tony nominated woman, Black woman, who is from out here,
Mm-hmm.
and you delete her comments on what you've done wrong.
And that demonstrates what your commitment truly is.
Ooh, baby.
Right? Because now we all see who you are. We all question, is that a safe space
For us.
And that's a no.
And if we go into that
No, we're
space,
not good enough, honey.
will we be protected in that space? So it's not just about the skill and the talent, because that's there. We have that. The thing is, when we show up, how are we being treated?
Exactly.
Which is possibly why we are not auditioning.
We're being gaslit. You
So
gaslit us.
that's a hard truth that you all may want to look at.
Oh.
Is that why are they not showing up?
Hello.
Wow. All right,
Don't play
on
with
to
us.
some really that was real shady. Real shady. Now we're on to some things that you should be going out to see.
Yes. So first up, Aurora Theater Company and its Originate Plus Generate new play development program presents its newest commission from Bay Area hip hop ensemble, Felonious Cabaret, a work-in-progress concert performance of The Bag, an original hip-hop musical featuring Bay Area artists Carlos, excuse me if I mispronounce this, Aguirre, Keith Pintum.
Come on and get it.
Oh, Lord. Last name Shepherd. I'm looking at this. I'm like, I thought I edited this. And Dan Wolf, who have been a force in the Bay Area theater and music scene for more than 25 years. In the wake of hip hop's 50th anniversary, a lucrative offer brings 4 once famous independent MCs back together. Now in their 50s with families and financial responsibilities, these artists who disbanded in the early 2000s are asked to reunite for a private show at the 40th birthday party of a wealthy tech entrepreneur who admired their past work. Despite their initial reluctance, they agreed to perform, but only for the money. The Bag is a story of survival and compromise in the arts, revealing the price of integrity and the true cost of success. This is a limited engagement, and it's on stage December 13th and 14th. Tickets at auroratheater.org. And this is another work that's in development. And they went out and commissioned local artists.
Come on.
Okay, we're going to show up and we're going to be there. So, moving on.
I'll go ahead and then try to do the next one. Oakland Theater Project presents the world premiere of 1,000 Ships by Marcus Gardley in association with Cal Shakes featuring Halili Knox, Don Troop, come on, that's my favorite, Rolanda Bell, William Hartford, Adrian Roberts, Sam Jackson, and Jasmine Milan Williams. For the beloved playwright of Black Odyssey and screenwriter of For the Color Purple comes an extraordinary tale of friendship between two Black women and their families, from their wartime work on the Oakland shipyards to the fulfillment of a dream, their own hair salon. On stage December 13th through January 5th. Tickets at oaklandtheaterproject.com/ships.
Next up, and we spoke about this earlier, is Waitress at San Francisco Playhouse, featuring Tanika Batiste, Jordan Covington, Dorian Lockett, Luca Troutman, I love her, Albert Hodge as understudy, and Shanine Black as Swing. Jenna, a waitress and expert pie maker, is stuck in a small town in a loveless marriage. Faced with an unexpected pregnancy, Jenna fears she may have to abandon the dream of opening her own pie shop until a baking contest in a nearby county and the town's handsome new doctor offer her a tempting recipe for happiness. Supported by her quirky crew of fellow waitresses and loyal customers, Jenna summons the secret ingredient she's been missing all along. Courage. Now on stage until January 18th. Tickets available at sfplayhouse.org.
Yes.
We also have Peter Pan at Panto at the Presidio, featuring Rotimi. What's Rotimi?
Agbabiaka?
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Sorry,
Agbabiaka.
I love you, Rotimi. Kareem Jenkins, Renee Lubin, William Schmidt, Chanel Tingman, and Mercury Van Sciver. Awaken your childlike wonder this holiday season with a brand new take on the family classic Peter Pan. The adventure begins in San Francisco before soaring away to the magical world of Neverland, featuring familiar characters such as Peter, Wendy, Captain Hook, Tinkerbell, and the Lost Boys. Panto and the Presidio fans will recognize favorites including Pecker, the singing rooster, and wonderfully wacky dame who narrates the action.
It's going to be so much fun. Last year, I took my niece and my nephew to see Phaedra.
Yeah, I was a chicken last
It was
year.
so good.
Oh, tickets. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys. We will make sure that
We'll
they're
drop it in
the-
here.
We'll
We'll
drop
drop
it
it in
in.
the
Yeah.
link. I mean, at the bottom of this.
Another show I
No,
brought
yeah.
up lastly is A Soulful Christmas. This is a heartwarming tradition, returns with a soulful Christmas, celebrating 10 unforgettable years at the Lorraine Hansberry Theater. Led by the incomparable Dr. Yvonne Combs, this magical winter concert features an ensemble of Bay Area's most powerful voices, delivering joyous melodies, soul-stirring vocals, and a performance overflowing with holiday cheer. Gather your family and support for an evening of Christmas classics, guaranteed to fill your hearts and lift your spirit. And that is at lhtsf.org. And that's where you can get tickets at the Lorraine Hansberry Theater.
Yes, 'tis the season.
Come on and go get you some holiday spirit.
Bah humbug.
Ooh, why you act like that?
It's who I am. Embrace it.
Well, I'm gonna ask this on our episode. They're gonna probably be like, Phaedra, what? Do we have another date before Christmas?
It's on the calendar, yes.
Yeah.
We do have one
We
more?
do.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like
cool.
it's a yes.
Okay, great. So we will see you definitely before the holiday.
And if not, we will see you on IG before the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see us on IG.
Out in these theater
We out in
streets.
these theater streets. We're gonna be actually everything we told you to go see, we're gonna be going to see.
Yeah.
Catch it.
So what we can start doing is posting when we're going to see stuff. So maybe you guys can catch us there.
Yeah.
So I think one of the next things we're gonna see is the Oakland Theater Project show, right?
Well, yes. Before that, it'll be the show that's at Aurora Theater. That's happening next weekend.
Okay,
December 13th
cool.
and 14th.
So
There's
we will
also
definitely
Waitress,
watch our Instagram
Agitators
and we will be
at Palo
telling you
Alto.
when we're going to something.
Yeah.
I think that will help us get you there. So you can meet us there and we can have a good time, grab a little
And come say hi to us because we will bite
Yeah.
if you ask. Maybe not.
Ooh, no, you didn't.
I did. We're going to be friendly, of course. We love the Bay
No,
Area.
that was a different kind of
That
bite.
was a different kind of bite.
It's like we will bite if
Talking
you
about
want
show
to.
booze. That's what's wrong with us.
Okay. Ooh, you nasty.
Right.
Ooh.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining Creatively Shaded.
Yes.
We always love that you come out and watch us and like us and subscribe to us and all that good stuff.
That's
remember to
right.
click that like, comment, share the YouTube, click the little alert bell to be informed of new episodes. This child is
It's the
tapping
afternoon love.
the bottom of her glass. Like,
Just making sure I got it all.
you got it all. Trust
Slurp
me.
it up.
You got it all.
Slurp it up.
Lord have mercy.
All right.
Anywho, so as always, we want you to join us for our next episode.
Yeah.
Stay fierce, fabulous, and focused. And as always,
Black. Stay so
bye,
black.
y'all. Thanks ever so.
Melanin.
Bye.
Glistening.
Smooches.